Well, what you're hearing is an Italian afternoon. That's what the song says anyway. This is one of the free songs that I get as a creator on YouTube, and I thought it was appropriate to open up this video with this really cool song, since we have a Necchi SuperNova in the background, and obviously Italian made, so buongiorno and all that kind of stuff. It's an awesome little machine, and it belongs to Jackie Miller. I've had it for quite a while and just have had a number of things going on, as you know, with the move and setting up a new workshop and everything, so I've been super duper busy, and it's great to finally get this machine ready to show its stuff and to get it heading back to Jackie. So what's blocking the machine? Well, the Italians love advertising and marketing as much as any company. And what you see in front of Jackie's SuperNova is an advertisement that they used back in the day, highlighting how smart, sexy, sassy, and beautiful their machines in fact are. So they picked some of the most gorgeous women of the day to showcase that fact. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can get a closer look at these beautiful ladies. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Kind of a contrast too. The one on the left, I'm going to move over by the machine. The one on the left has a blindfold on. I don't know if you can see that in the camera shot or not. And then everything is in Italian, and I don't read Italian, but I can surmise that based on her being dressed in a beautiful outfit, she's got her jewelry on, she's got her blindfold on, and the whole message of the day with the Necchi machines was they are so easy to use and so smart that you can basically operate them without even touching them. They're just gonna do their thing. And so I think that's the message here. I'm kind of seeing world's first sewing machine with a micro electric control. And so it's got technology built into it, along with the ease of sewing and the beauty. And the one on the other side, in English, completely in English I should say, is promoting the Necchi Mirella, which is being again coined as the simplest sewing machine ever invented, you know, and back then it was only 169 bucks. So and she looks pretty doggone happy, so I don't know if it's easy to use or she's just feeling affectionate to her machine and she hasn't even fired the thing up yet. But in any case, she looked happy. And over here we've got a gal dressed almost like a kind of a Norwegian style attire, and she's demonstrating the artsy side and the decorative side of what the Necchi machines could do back in the day. And this doesn't even look like a machine that is equipped with that. It looks like it would have been done probably through freehand embroidery. But nonetheless, again, she's beautiful, she's sexy, and she looks really happy because the machine is so easy to use. Same thing with the gal on the right. You've got that decorative stitching kind of visible in the back, which is generated through the cams. When I got this machine from Jackie Miller, she didn't provide any cams. I don't think she has any cams for it, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate any of that stitching. That's not going to be my focus, but the machine definitely has the capability to do that kind of decorative sewing with one of the built-in cams that would go with it. And she's just as happy as can be. The caption is, it's easy, it's so easy, S-E-W, easy, so simple now. The new push-button Necchi. And this is one of the Nova models. There's 2 or 3 different SuperNova type models with slightly different features and setups on them, but they're all pretty much the same when it comes to what they're able to do. So again, she's dressed in a beautiful garb, pretty lady, sexy, you know, curvaceous like the machines, and she's kind of saying, hey, if you want to be able to sew easy and just have fun, boom, there's your machine. So I just think their advertising was really good, and they used, you know, what's the thing today when you're advertising something? They use a lot of beautiful ladies, and they use pets. I don't know why Necchi never picked any cool pets that they could have had featuring their machines. Maybe a greyhound or something, showing the sleekness and the curvaceousness and the speed and the beauty and all that. Who knows? But here is a rendering, it's not an actual picture, of a beautiful gal, and you may already recognize her. Do you? Sophia Loren. They picked Sophia Loren, and out of any of the beautiful gals that they had in the day represent their product, she was the most effective spokesperson because she was gorgeous, she was sexy, she still is today. She's quite a looker, and she's well along in age. But the other thing is, she was in the movies that were being shown all across America. So as they looked at this spokesperson, you know, the roots of Italy, gorgeous, sexy. She was also in front of mind. She was the front of mind spokesperson for a lot of the movies when it came to beauty, sensuality, and everything else. So she just fit the grade beautifully when it came to representing the Necchi brand. And I'm not sure who this is, some other beautiful gal, kind of a linear, long legs, beautiful, long, beautiful, curvaceous lines, just like the machine shown at the bottom of the advertisement. So, you know, they're not stupid folks. The people wanting to promote the Neckis and get them into the American marketplace, they knew how to do it. They knew what to do. Just like here, you've got this gal on the left, you know, basically hands-free. Our machines are so easy to use, you don't even have to touch the machine. Just plug the sucker in and you're ready to go. And the other thing you may not be able to see is this is actually a Necchi brand that appears to have a folding type table, almost like the Singer Featherweight 221. I've never had one of these on my workbench. I'd love to get a hold of one, but it's way cool. And who knows, I could do stitch offs and not even touch the machine, because that's what she's saying. And she wouldn't lie. Look at her face. She's honest, right? And then over here you've got another rendering of Sophia Loren. Again, beautiful, sexy, curvaceous. There it is. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy two of them. And you'll be that much better of a sewer, and that much more beautiful, and that much more sexy. And there's a beautiful picture of Sophia Loren back in the day when she was quite young. And along with it, not quite as sexy and not quite as curvaceous, one of the original Necchi or Necchi home delivery, sales, service, you name it, it did it. Vehicles that went all around the place to all the neighborhoods, very much like Singer did, door to door. And Necchi again was mirroring and matching what the Singer brand and the other brands were doing to compete in the marketplace and say, we are the best choice, we're easy to use, we're sexy, we're service oriented. I mean, what else could you want? And they did an excellent job of getting the message out and making a very compelling case for these machines like the SuperNova. So let's take a closer look at this SuperNova, and I'm just going to show you a couple of little features on it I think that are pretty daggone cool. So starting on the bottom right, we've got some switches. Now how many machines other than maybe the Singer Tool 1-2 that has a switch to turn on the power and the light? You don't see a lot of machines with switches. So again, they were wanting to try to demonstrate they were a little bit different. They also wanted to showcase that along with being sexy, sleek, and beautiful, they also had a power side to them as well. So the switch that's closest to you is nothing more than an on-off switch. It's going to power up the machine. It's going to give you the light. And the one above it, furthest away from you in the camera, is that power boost switch. You know, by simply flipping that switch, this is normal sewing, but if you really want to get hardcore, you flip her to the right, and you're going to have the max power output of what this Necchi SuperNova can give you. Now, the interesting thing is you go through a machine at the surgical level that I do on these machines. There's nothing on the nomenclature, on the motor, on the bottom, on the front that tells you exactly what the amperage of this motor is, but I'm pretty confident to say that it's either going to be a 1 amp or a 1.3 amp. So it's got a lot of grit. It's got Italian grit and gusto behind it as well. So I'm going to come on the camera shot a little bit. Right over here, and I'm coming right back in, we obviously have the thread guide for winding a bobbin, and then also behind it we have the feed dog drop. Now this is a little bit different. You would expect to be able to just turn that little knob either forward or back and get the feed dogs to go up or down. Not the case with this one, and I'm going to kind of go over there. If I don't knock the camera all over the place, I will. Come on, you silly thing. There we go. I think it's pretty solid. Otherwise, you're just going to have to do your best to keep up with me here. So, this one does turn one way or the other, but when you turn it, it pops up. Did you see that? And then when you want to engage the feed dogs again, you push it down and turn it and lock it back in place again. So that's the only difference, a little nuance when it comes to the feed dog feature on this SuperNova. Now we're going to zoom out a little bit. Actually, we're going to zoom in apparently, because I wanted to show the SuperNova branding. Plus they always have their classic N on the bed of the machine as well. So we're going to look at a couple of things here on this one right over here. We got a bunch of different gadgets, knobs, levers, you name it. The Italians want to give us all the bells and whistles so that we can have fun with this machine. So, over on this side right here, hopefully you can see that just barely in the camera shop, this little knob, it's just maybe just a little bit on the low side. That's going to be your stitch length control. I've got it set on 4 right now. And you can go all the way down to basically go to almost 0. So it's going to have a wide stitch range of probably around, comparable to a Husqvarna, probably around 5 to 30 stitches per inch. And then you've got the reverse button right on top. If you just push the button in, you sew in reverse. If you release it, you resume sewing forward again. Now over here you got some interesting stuff going on. This little lever right here allows you to go between a straight stitch and a zigzag while you're sewing without changing anything on the machine. You slide it to the right, you're zigzagging. Anywhere in that range you're zigzagging, depending on what size zigzag you want. And then when you release it, boom, you're back to straight stitching again. You can also set the parameters. If I bring it like to about this point right here and I move this one over, let's see here, get this right, move this right about over to here, tighten her down, and it's going to hold it right about at that point so you have a constant zigzag. Or you can release this again and it's going to go right back over to 0 so you'll be straight stitching. So I think that's kind of cool. And then here you've got nothing more than needle position. Right now it's center position, left position, and let me get my hand on there and hold the machine, right position, etc. So nothing super crazy about that. And then here you've got a control that is nothing more than to control the cam features and cam output. When I got this machine from Jackie Miller, I did not get any cams with it. I don't believe she has any, so I'm not able to demonstrate any of that. But obviously the cams would go right in the top, and then similar to other machines that have cam features, you would adjust it by number to choose the cam or the stitch output that you want. So that's kind of neat too. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and show you one other thing that I kind of jumped past. I was kind of excited to get into the machine and I totally bypassed it. And it's kind of cool. Right over here. And you're saying, okay, what's the big deal, Scott? We see there's a balance wheel. All machines pretty much have balance wheels, don't they? Well, they do. But I'm not focusing on the balance wheel. I'm not focusing on the clutch. I'm focused on something that's hidden to the eye. And why would the Italians do that? Because they like to surprise you and they like to amaze you. So this little lever, or this little tab right here, if you will, allows you to pull down and reveal your ability to wind a bobbin. Of course, if that's all you do is pull it down and you let go of it, it's gone again. But there's a cool little tab that you can push on the top right here. Let's see if I can, there we go. You push it up, and then that bobbin tire comes up and to the right. See that? Then you can let it go and you're ready to wind a bobbin. You just put your bobbin right here. You thread it up from the thread guide down below like you would most standard machines. You wind your bobbin. When you're done, you push this. It retracts back to the left. Let her go. And again, shazam! No bobbin winder. It's tucked away. It's hidden. Kind of cool, I think. It's kind of, and again, they do that because they don't want that bobbin winder on the outside taking away from the sexiness and the curvaceousness of their machine. They want to tuck it away and keep it nice and smooth and linear and curvaceous. So I think that's kind of neat. So the Necchi SuperNova isn't just a looker. It's not just a looking machine, a machine that's kind of cool and contemporary and easy to use and sexy and beautiful and all that kind of stuff. It's also got quite a bit of technology built into it as well. And you've already seen some of that, but another thing that you have not seen, let me kind of go over here, is, wait a second here, why in heaven's name do we have the presser foot over here with the feed dog plate in place, but then we've got another feed dog plate over here, and we've got another feed dog plate all the way over there? What the heck is going on? Well, the simple answer is they wanted to allow you to do different types of sewing and have a customized needle plate cover that goes over those feed dogs that would fit that specific need. Okay, so this one in front right over here, if I can get my finger out of the way, that is specifically designed so that when it goes over the feed dogs, it's going to hold back a little bit of that bite and allow you to sew very delicate fabrics like silks, satins, and others like that without damaging the material. This one back here is going to allow you to sew with a dual needle. And this one over here that I've got in place right now is going to be a standard straight stitch and a zigzag cover for those feed dogs as a needle plate. Okay, so you're asking me, well, okay, got it. Okay, good explanation, Scott. We're following you. But how in heaven's name do we access those things? How do we go from one to the other? Is it a pain? Is it easy? Is it complex? What is it? Well, I'm going to do my best to show you. And on camera is not easy when it comes to demonstrating something like this. But I can tell you that underneath this plate is a quick release that the Italians engineered into this machine that will cause this little pin in the middle to pop up, which is their retaining pin for this plate. I'm going to kind of get my hand on the end a little bit to the best of my ability, kind of lift it up. If it goes off camera for a little bit, I apologize. And I'm going to try to get all the way underneath there and push that little tab. I hope I'm still in the camera shot. It looks like I am pretty much. Okay. And what you may notice is that that little pin I was talking about has now popped up. And what that allows you to do is to then pull this plate up and rotate it like so. See that? And you can rotate it all the way over to this one that again is designed for those delicate. Once it's in place, it'll drop down, and then you would push that little pin in to retain it, Or I can rotate it all the way back the other way and kind of start where we started. I'm almost there, folks. Okay, that's in place. Or we could, and I won't do it, but we could rotate it all the way back to that other one over here. It's just a little bit off camera, but that would be the one for dual needle sewing. And then when we're done goofing around with this, we just push that little pin back in. It doesn't hold it super tight, but along with the presser foot, it holds it enough in place over those feed dogs that you generally don't have any issues. I wouldn't say it's bulletproof or foolproof, but all in all, it generally does a pretty good job. So that's a nifty feature on this SuperNova, in my opinion, along with, I think, the hidden bobbin winder and some other cool stuff that the Italians kind of threw into the mix and said, hey, sexy, smart, you name it, that's what we are, baby. So, so what I'd like to move on to now is a quick sew off. And when I say quick sew off, I am literally saying a quick sew off, because I don't have any cams for the machine. We're basically relegated to a zigzag and a straight stitch, which is all I really want to showcase. With a 1 amp or a 1.3 amp motor on this Necchi machine, hopefully I don't have to prove to you that it has power, because it does. Especially, remember that little switch you can flip to go from minimum to maximum? It's going to give you the equivalent of an Italian turbo on this SuperNova. But I would like to goof around a little bit with that lever that I showed you, so that while you're actively sewing, you can go between a straight and a zigzag. And when you're using a feature like this, it can be a little bit persnickety. So, you know, we may have some sort of a goofy thing happen. It's all part of working with a machine and the features that have been engineered into it. Or it may amaze me and be absolutely flawless. Let's hope for flawless. I could use flawless, you know, instead of the challenges that sometimes come when you're shooting videos like this. So here goes a SuperNova demonstrating a basically a straight stitch and a zigzag alternating as we go down the material. I'm going to give this a go, folks. So cross your fingers, your toes, and here we go. And just as easy as that, we've just done it. It was that quick, that silent, that effective. I love it when a plan works out, don't you? So what you can see here is actively sewing. We zipped down this material and we started with a straight, we zipped into a zigzag, and then we finished off with a straight stitch again. So that's one of the neat things with that little lever in the control center, where you can go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, and basically create your own pattern output. Because again, when you push that lever, you can go max, you know, to 5 and get a wider zigzag, or you can go to 1 or 2 and make a real tight zigzag, or alternate back and forth, however you want to do it. And then you can see that that's represented on the back as well with, if I get it in the camera, it is. You can see that's represented on the back as well with a gorgeous lock stitch. I used the same thread that Jackie had in here, which is a white thread, and it shows up real nicely on this U.S. Army grade canvas. And again, we're not looking to amaze anybody from a strength standpoint. We basically have 2 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas, but you heard how quiet the machine ran and just how smoothly it zipped down that material. No effort whatsoever, which is, I mean, the Italians, they build a good solid machine, and I don't nearly highlight them enough on this channel, and shame on me for that. You know, there's a number of other machines that are great machines that I don't really highlight on this channel as much as I probably could. and that is the Kenmore machines, the classic Kenmore machines, the Elgin machines, and the list goes on and on and on. There's a number of great Japanese clone machines as well that do a phenomenal job, are extremely strong, all about vintage, all about heavy duty, and I don't show them enough. I just don't demonstrate their capabilities on this channel. And that's where you can keep me accountable. Remind me about that. Say, hey Scott, we haven't seen this type of machine for a while. You show the Husqvarnas, you show the various singers, and there's a lot of other singers I have in my inventory as well that I need to bring to this bench and introduce them to you. It's probably going to be the first time and maybe the only time that you're ever going to see these machines. Some of them are very rare, and most of them are to a point of extinction. And I've been fortunate enough to collect them over the years, have them in my personal collection, and be able to present them to you. But sometimes I just get too busy with the workload, which I'm very thankful for. I get machines shipped here, I get machines that I either collect and restore, or machines that are delivered here. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and the wheels are turning fast, and I sometimes don't get those cool machines out of my inventory that you would be like, whoa, I've never seen that before. So remind me about that when it comes to getting some of those machines in front of you that you maybe haven't seen before. The 99s, the 201s, the Husqvarnas, I got those always coming to my workbench because a lot of folks own them and a lot of folks want them. But I've got to spread that out a little bit with some unique machines, some cool machines that maybe otherwise you'll never have a chance to see. So at any rate, Jackie Miller, your SuperNova is super, and it's ready to go home. So we can arrange, I know you're Wisconsin like I am, we can arrange you coming to my workshop and picking it up. We can arrange a middle meeting spot. Let's figure it out. But I need to get this machine moving on and get another machine in its place, because there's a long line of machines patiently waiting to go underneath the sewing knife and become incredible again. All right? So stay tuned. And if you haven't written anything yet, remember, I'm giving a sewing machine away on November 15th to the person that has the most likes on their Facebook page post underneath that video that has my desert rose. Now, if you're saying, remind us again, what the heck is a desert rose? Hang tough for a second, I'll show you. A desert rose is this amazing thing that I literally brought back from Saudi Arabia. Remember what I shared in that last video? These things form underneath the floor of the desert when there's huge storms and there's lightning strikes on the desert floor, and it causes the sand in those pools of water to crystallize. That's the video on the Facebook business page where you see this shown, where you want to post your little essay, your little statement of why I love vintage sewing machines and what a difference this YouTube channel has made. Post it before November 15th. Don't be lazy. Don't give this away. I think we only have 2 posts right now. Only 2 posts. And there's thousands of you out there all over the world. Post that essay. Take a little bit and draft something. No one's going to critique your grammar or anything like that. Right from the heart, share your passion, why you love vintage sewing machines, why you love this channel, and post it underneath that post on Facebook where you see this little desert rose, and then get all your friends, family, everyone to like that video. And if you get the most likes by November 15th, guess what? You're going to get a free vintage sewing machine, fully restored by me from this workbench or that workbench over there. One of the two, but it's going to be an amazing machine, and you don't want to miss this. Okay? So put your passion into action and post that today. Don't wait anymore, so you can get all your friends and everybody to like it, and you can get in the running to win a free vintage sewing machine. How many other channels are doing this? Come on, get out there and make it happen, okay? thanks for being a subscriber. And Jackie Miller, thanks for entrusting this great Italian SuperNova to my workbench. All right? Have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned for more giveaways and more videos.